Hello, welcome to Firearms of America, and today, as you guys can see, we have another Under Armour boot review, and this is actually Under Armour Valsetz RTS 1.5. Yet again, as some of you know, I have already reviewed these boots, but the ones that I reviewed did not have the side zipper on them, and I have gotten so many requests to review these boots again, but this time with the side zipper. Okay, so listen, these boots are probably one of the most watched, reviewed on this channel. People absolutely love these boots, and there is a good reason why. These are great boots. If you don't have time to watch the whole review, let me give you a brief overview. For a little bit under than $130, $129.95 currently on Amazon, you are getting a good tactical lightweight boot from Under Armour. Good quality, absolutely amazing build quality, absolutely great comfort, and I am a big fan of this very simple yet very functional outsole. I do have a few negative things to say about those boots, but we will get to them. Let's start. Okay, so as some of you already know, this review is specifically for my ultimate survival boots section. Basically, if this was your last boot that you were wearing, you put on, or you had them in the closet, stored for something specific, and something specific happened, like for example, a global pandemic, and you had to put these boots on, or you were wearing them, and you needed to travel for a very, very long distances, for very long periods of time, without taking these boots off, doing all of these things that you need to do to survive, climb, run, jump, do some kung fu fighting, I don't know, whatever it is you need to survive. Would this be a good pair of boots to wear during a situation like this? Alright, let's get into it. So how do we make this decision? Well, we judge by 8 different criteria. All of the boots that I judge, I judge them exactly the same, by the same exact standards, and I do the same exact test. Criterion number 1 is the comfort level, of course, one of the most important things. So in order to test the comfort level, what I do is I put the boots on, and then I go for a 3-mile run, without stopping, without taking any breaks. Sometimes it is really hard, guys, trust me, especially when I test the work boots, it's really hard. But I still do it. I get through it. And then right after my 3-mile run, I do a 5-mile walk, again without stopping. The total wear time without taking off the boots is about 7 to 8 hours. Okay, what can I say about this boot? These are one of the most comfortable boots to run in. They do not restrict your movement. You can jump, you can do your parkour stuff, ninja, kung fu fighting, whatever the hell you want to do in these boots. They do not restrict the movement at all. I absolutely love them. And really, if you take a look at them, they almost looks like a hybrid between a tactical boot and a sneaker. And that's really what they feel like on your feet as well. They look like a tactical boot, but they feel like a very comfortable running sneaker whenever you're wearing them. So a few factors that contribute to this comfort level. The very first one, probably one of the most important ones, is the weight. Let's get this out of the way. Usually the weight that you get on the website, it's hard to tell if it's for 2 pairs or for 1 boot, if it's for size 5 or if it's for size 15. Okay, this is size 10, 1 boot obviously, and we have 15.2 pounds, which is really good. Not pounds, sorry, ounce. 15.2 ounce. That would be pretty bad if it was pounds. Anyway, this is really good. Really, anything under 20 to give you kind of a good perspective on the weight is good. Whenever you're running anything under 20, you might be able to complete a run, without much struggle. And 15 is really good. It's really impressive. For everything that you're getting in this boot, it is very impressive. Now, another thing that contributes to the comfort level of this boot is the inner sole. And let me take it out so that you can actually see. Now, this is not your typical basic inner sole. This is actually the inner sole from Copperon. And Copperon is it's the company that works with Under Armour and makes their inner soles. Basically, it's very similar to Ortholite. It has that special antibacterial whatever treatment basically that kills the bacteria if your feet are sweating and stuff like that. But as you can see, this one is actually shaped very nicely. A lot of times whenever you look at the inner sole, it's just a basic flat spongy inner sole, nothing special, but this actually has a very good shape to it, so it gives you support to your arch, to your heel. I am very much, what's the word, liking this inner sole. Okay, it's good. It's really good. Okay, there's another important factor that contributes to the comfort level of this boots that I want to mention here really quickly is the way the toe box is. A lot of times, one big problem that I have with tactical boots in general is that they have those leather, very nice, very durable leather toe boxes, right? Or the outside of the toe box, but they don't really do anything with those on the inside. So whenever you're running or whenever you're going down the hill, you have your toes banging on the top of it and kind of just not having any protection, not having anything soft to smooth it out, that impact, and your toes just, you get tired very quickly. They start hurting. Here on the inside, if you do get these boots, put your hand in there and you will understand what I mean. You're gonna appreciate it. It has that very nice spongy surface to give you kind of that wraparound feeling to hold your foot in place if you're running, if you're going down the hill, but also soften that impact if you do get, if your toes do go up and you kind of, touch the top inside of the toe box. Very important, very important. I know it sounds kind of weird. You're like, what are you talking about? But, compared to a lot of other boots, this is something very important to consider. Another thing that contributes to the comfort level of this boot is the tongue and the way it is made. As you can see, there is a very nice padding. And again, a lot of tactical boots, they don't have any padding in the tongue. It's basically just that synthetic material, which whenever you tighten all the way up, your shins, and you walk for extended periods of time, it starts rubbing on your shins, and it's very, very uncomfortable. This is not the case here. This will never happen because you have a nice padding here. Okay, last factor that contributes to the comfort level is the softness of the outsole, which is very important. As you can see, the outsole is fairly flexible. So what that allows you is it allows you to run properly. This is very, very important. And a lot of boots lack it because they do these massive outsoles, and this one is no exception. It's big. It's big. It's pretty big. So, and it's very hard rubber too. This outer layer, as you can see, this thin outer layer is a very hard rubber. But nevertheless, Under Armour, they did a great job combining two different types of rubber to make it hard and flexible at the same time. So basically, whenever you're running, right, if you do have a good flexible outsole, you can run properly without putting any stress on your ankles and of course on your knees. Very important. Okay, so on the comfort level, I would give this boot a very solid. Wow, it's very, very tough. I kind of want to give it a 10 out of 10, honestly, because I really don't have any complaints whenever it comes to these boots, because they're just extremely comfortable. So yeah, let's give them 10 out of 10. All right, 10 out of 10. Let's move on to the criteria number 2, proofing and protection. Now, these boots are not advertised as waterproof. They do, however, say that these boots are water resistant. Honestly, water resistant doesn't really mean much to me. It's either waterproof or not waterproof. I wouldn't really go too much into, I'm myself not a big waterproofing. Unless you live in climates or you want to use these boots for winter, then I would say yes, okay, waterproofing really does matter. But if you're wearing these boots in the summertime, for example, and you're walking over puddles and creeks and stuff like that and you get wet, as long as a boot can dry fairly quickly, which this definitely can, as long as the boot is breathable, which these are, that really all that matters to me. But again, this is really a personal preference. If you're looking for waterproof boots, these are not the ones. Just keep that in mind. Now, Whenever it comes to the protection, this is where these boots do shine. There's a lot of protection that is involved. First of all, there's a very nice harder rubber material that goes out around the toe, which is very nice. Still, I wouldn't expect this to protect you from an impact of, for example, a falling hammer. This is not a hard toe, obviously it's very soft, so you will get some damage, but nevertheless a little bit of harder rubber is very nice, very considerate of the Under Armour. Then you have, of course, your heel protection. It is reinforced nicely, but I am mostly impressed with the way Under Armour used this cool design, which is seemingly nothing, but actually is very durable and does offer decent amount of protection to your ankles. Again, this is something that a lot of tactical boots lack. They do give you a long shaft, right? But there's really nothing, no protection involved because it's just thin material. Here, you don't have a lot of padding, yes, but this rubbering that goes outside here on the ankle area is actually very durable and does take on some impact. Keep that in mind. Okay, let's move on to the quality and the design features. Now, quality wise, these boots, there are a lot of mixed reviews on them. Overall, they're pretty good. It's a little bit more than 4 stars on Amazon with 780 reviews, more than 780 reviews so far. Like I said, these are one of the most popular boots on this channel that I'm getting the reviews for and requests for. So people do like this boots, but there are a lot of mixed comments. Under Armour, they did have a lot of problems with the quality control. Okay, some factories that manufacture these boots just don't do as good of a job as others. Happens. So I had personally a lot of complaints from a lot of people who watch my videos saying that these boots don't last and something went bad. Personally, I never had problems with these boots, and like I said, I already do have an Under Armour Valsetz RTS 1.5 without the zipper that I've used so far for probably about a year now, maybe even more, and not a single problem. Use them pretty much on a daily basis, not a single problem. But again, keep that in mind. If you do get a bad pair, it happens. Don't be upset and don't think that these are bad boots in general. Go ahead and replace them. I'm sure you won't be disappointed once you get a good pair that passed a quality control properly. Now, let's talk about the design features. Obviously, you notice the zipper, and that's really one of the reasons why I'm doing this review. Zipper adds a lot of good stuff, right, to the boot. It allows for you to put on and take off the boots properly, and I think it is a very, very good feature to have in your ultimate survival boots, because listen, I like this lacing system. It's pretty good. The strings, as you can see, are fairly thin, so you can tighten them fairly quickly. And because the hardware here is, this one is metal here, the metal rings, and then you have a material here, which I'm not a big fan of, honestly, because it does not allow for a very easy sliding of the string. Keep that in mind. But these plastic hooks are pretty good. They're closed hooks, by the way, which, some people do like, some people prefer open hooks, but really mixed preference again. I think open hooks are more applicable for hiking boots, not tactical boots. But anyway, the lacing system is pretty good, but it still takes a lot of time to put on and take this boot off if you don't have the zipper. And trust me, I have boots without the zipper. Okay, I have the Valsetz without the zipper, so it is definitely a pain. It takes time. This zipper here definitely saves a lot of trouble. The only problem that I see with having boots with zipper is that you have something that has potential to break. If this zipper breaks, well, your boots are gone. But then again, if really anything breaks somewhere, if a hook breaks, well, that's not good. It kind of adds additional thing that can go wrong, right? But now the way I look at it, I'd rather get, if I could pick my Valsetz all over again, I would definitely go with this because they do have a zipper. Much better thing to have. Anyway, let's move on from this criterion to the next one. The criterion number 4 is the outsole traction and stability. And as I've mentioned, I am a fan of this very simplistic, nothing really crazy outsole, but Again, it is very functional, it is very smart, it is really, really nicely balanced. These boots handle traction on absolutely practically anything you throw at them. I tested them on so many different surfaces, on asphalt, on tarmac, wet grass, dry grass. I tested them on the sand, dry sand, wet sand, tested them on the rocky road, tested them on the concrete, on tile, on marble, just a whole bunch of variety. The only surfaces that I did not test these boots on are snow and ice. So if you guys have experience with snow or ice, please let us know in the comments below. It will be very, very helpful. I think they should perform decent in the snow, and they might be a little bit slippery on ice, just because the aggression, there is enough of aggression for pretty much anything but ice on these boots. Because, on ice you want something more spiky, some more that kind of, digs into that ice to give you that stability. But anyway, everything else these boots handle very nicely. And a lot of times, let me tell you a little bit about the balance, because it's important. A lot of times, whenever you have flatter surface, right, flatter outsole, they perform better on surfaces like sand, for example, right? Because there's nothing for the sand to dig in. And when you have sand to dig into the grooves, your boots become heavier, obviously less comfortable, not good, more slippery. Here, as you can see, there isn't really anything to dig into. There aren't any weird grooves that the sand can get stuck in, or the mud, or anything like that. But whenever it comes to slippery surfaces, like for example wet grass, flat stuff might have a lot of trouble handling stuff, slippery stuff like wet grass. This is not the case here, because there's still some aggression in what is here. For example, if you can see, these grooves and these grooves, they go in different directions. So what it allows, if you try to slide forward, it kind of catches on these grooves on the heel. If you try to slide backwards, it catches on these grooves on the front. So it's very nicely balanced. I honestly am a big fan of the outsole of this boots. The only thing that I can complain about the outsole is that I wish these grooves that you can see on the side were going a little bit in. What that allows on both sides, kind of in on the kind of like a if you check out my Stellar Tack, Under Armour Stellar Tack boots, they do have that. What that allows is gives you a little bit extra support whenever you're climbing something. For example, climbing a rope. Not a big deal, but something for you to think about, something for you to keep in mind. Okay, let's quickly talk about the criteria number 5, which is the temperature. I was testing them in Florida. It was about 95, maybe even 100 degrees outside whenever I was testing them. No overheating at all. Very nice and breathable. I absolutely love these boots for hot weather, to be honest. I don't know how they would handle in the cold temperatures, but I think you can get away with some insulated socks, because there's really no insulation here. But again, if you guys do have experience with these boots in the snow, on the ice, and in the cold temperatures, please let us know in the comments below. It will be very, very helpful. Let's talk about the criteria number 6, sizing. This is the size 10, half a size bigger than my normal shoe size. I always get all my shoes, sneakers, stuff like that in 9.5, and I always get my boots half a size bigger. I got that good advice a couple of years ago from one of my hiking friends who is a professional hiker. Basically, it gives you a little bit of that extra space whenever you're going down the hill. Your toe is not banging on the front of the toe box, and that really can save your life. I mean, listen, if you are, going down the mountain and you have exact size boot, exact your foot size, you're gonna your toe is gonna hate you. But always get a boot that is a half a size bigger. So this is half a size bigger, and just like they're supposed to, they do give me a little bit of that extra space. So they're definitely true to the size, no problems with that. Let's quickly talk about the criteria number 7. The balance of application. Basically, if this really was your last boot, you watched this review and you were like, man, I love these boots, I want to get them, and I want to keep them in my closet. If anything bad happens and I need my last survival boots that I put on, hopefully not last, hopefully you'll survive, but anyway, you get the point. Would this be a good boot? Personally, I really hope that I'm wearing these boots whenever something bad happens, because I do love them. They are definitely on the top 10 of all my, so far I have reviewed so many boots on this channel. These guys are definitely on the top 10. And I think they are definitely above the regular Valsetz RTS that do not have the side zipper. Just because the side zipper allows you to put on these boots much quicker. And listen, time is of the essence. Whenever it comes to survival situations, time is definitely of the essence. The only complaints that I have about this boot is I wish there were a little bit more of the toe protection. Maybe this plastic rubber, not the plastic rubber, but the harder rubber, a little bit harder and a little bit higher to give you more of a toe protection. And really, waterproofing. I wish they were actually waterproof, and if they weren't waterproof, I wish they had the vents to dry up quickly. So I think it's either dry faster or, waterproof completely. I think this is just the way I look at, whenever it comes to being waterproof and not waterproof in the boots. But other than that, I am a huge fan of these boots. Like I said, it's a great option. Even if you're just getting them for your work, if you're working as a security officer, as a police officer, and you need a good pair of comfortable tactical boots for every day, you're gonna appreciate this. Just get them in the right size, make sure you have that a little bit of extra space, and you will appreciate this boot. Okay, finally, the criterion number 8, the price. Okay, so the price, like I said in the beginning of the video, currently is $130, $129.95 on Amazon. I think it's definitely a fair price. Coming from Amazon, Amazon, their stuff obviously is, expensive. But compared to a lot of other tactical boots that I reviewed on this channel, and compared to a lot of boots in general in this price range, I think if you compare the comfort level, if you compare the protections, and being tactical, of course, I think this is definitely a really good option, and there's really not a lot of competition out there that can compete with these boots, except maybe for Stellar Tac, which are also from Under Armour. And actually I did get a lot of requests to compare the two boots, these boots, the Valsetz and Stellar Tac, head to head. So I think I'm gonna do that, guys. So if you're interested to watch, stick around, subscribe to this channel, and I will be uploading that video soon as well. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. This was a review of Under Armour Valsetz RTS 1.5, this time with the zipper, military tactical boots, and you've been watching Firearms of America. I'll see you guys in the next video.